So the university president now reconsidering that 2-week suspension for head coach Pat Fitzgerald. Why?
I think it obviously speaks to the nature of the allegations, which were beyond severe. I mean, very sexual hazing, detailed, and certainly coercive acts, and very much problematic if this were to have occurred, as this player claims. And not just one player, it is now at least two, if not three, former players that have come out and said that this did happen, including multiple staffers have confirmed that this happened as well. And I think it speaks to, again, what was mentioned, the fact that the media response to this has been certainly overwhelming, and I don't think there's any tolerance for this type of behavior. And I think Northwestern likely knew about these types of incidents and thought a 2-week suspension was okay, but I think upon further reflection, that was probably going to change.
I know that you have spoken to some of the players here. What are they telling you about these allegations, but also what do they want to see happen here?
I will say it has been a very mixed bag. I've talked to several former players who have told me they can't fathom that Fitzgerald allowed that this happened, that Fitzgerald is never a person they would have associated ever with hazing, and that if he had known, he would have stepped up and said something. But then I also have former players who have told me that have confirmed that this has happened, and maybe even as early as somebody who graduated in 2007 was engaging in the quote-unquote car wash, in which players would rub naked against one another in the showers. And that has also been detailed as using hoses and things like that. So it appears to be a rather long-standing issue, but I have gotten different information from different people and still trying to confirm whether or not this occurred and to what extent it also occurred.
Yeah, the investigation, we should point out, didn't find sufficient evidence to say the coaching staff, including Fitzgerald, knew about the hazing. But shouldn't he have known?
That would seem to be the plausible answer. I mean, to put it frankly, Fitzgerald really is the entire essence of the Northwestern football program. He is the face of the program. He has been since he took over in 2006, and the program really has been orchestrated to every single detail as he best sees fit, whether it's the new Ryan Field, which is planned for the next few years, Ryan Fieldhouse, which is the team's training facility, and the Walter Athletic Center, and the players that Fitzgerald recruits are supposed to meet his kind of cultural expectation and standard of upholding the university's responsibilities and obligations. So it feels short-sighted to say that Fitzgerald could not have known about this, given his just involvement in overseeing every aspect of this program.
Right. Even if he didn't know, shouldn't he have known? Bradley Locker from InsideNU, thanks for joining us. Keep us posted on any developments as you learn them, okay?
Certainly. Thanks so much for having me.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.